made me want to start composing music for theatre? I sort of fell into it. I never decided to actually write music for theatre. I thought I was going to play in bands. I thought I was going to tour the world, be a pop star, rock star, all that kind of stuff. I did play in bands, but I also used to work in the theatre. I worked on the stage crew, shifting scenery, doing bits of follow spot, that sort of thing. So someone who I was in a band with, he had a music degree. I've got no music qualifications, by the way. I haven't even got A-level music. I'm old, so I've got O-level music, but no, which is like GCSE music, but I don't have A-level music. So yeah, someone I played in a band with had a music degree. And he started writing music for theatre, and then there was a show that he couldn't do one year. It was A Midsummer Night's Dream for Manchester Youth Theatre. It was a paid gig. So he said to me, Tayo, why don't you do it? And I'd never thought about doing anything like that, but I gave it a go, and I wrote it, and I got paid for it, and it was fun. And then someone in that show got a job with a professional company, and they needed a composer, so I did that. And then they asked me again, and then this friend suggested me for something else, and before I knew it, I was a theatre composer. How I think about starting writing music for a show. The first thing I need to read is the script, because so many of the clues are in the piece. So, for example, with a show like this one, it's Twist. It's based on the Oliver Twist story. It's about a boy, a young person, who starts off in Syria, moves through to Turkey, ends up in the UK. So there in itself is a clue, because it's an epic story. It's a big journey, travelling through lots of different countries. So the first thing I would think is that, well, this probably needs to be reflected in the music somehow. So I'll do my research. I know a little bit about Syrian music, but I'm not an expert. So I'll do my research with Syrian music, with Turkish music, and then obviously we land in the UK. So the styles of music involved will be reflected by what the story needs, I guess. So that's my starting point. How music composition helps tell a story is kind of, as I was saying before, really, in that when you have places and when you have times, that's one of the things. It helps give a location, it helps give a time frame. With the original story, it's set in the 19th century, and ours is set in the 21st century. So musically, that's very, very different. The style of music is going to be very, very different. So that's one of the hooks. It helps let you know where you are in time, and it helps you know where you are. But another important part of the story is the emotional journey, really. I know when I read a script and when I follow a story, the emotional journey of the story is really important to me. Especially with a story like this of a young orphan going on such a emotional journey, and so helping to tell that side of the story is quite important. Another thing in this piece is that we have lots of scenes, so helping us know when one scene stops and when another scene starts. That's something that music and sound, because I'm doing the sound as well, so that's something that the music and the sound will help with quite a lot. The way I work with other members of the team is that we're all working together to tell the story. So you have the actors, who are the ones that you see when you watch the story. There's also a director who is basically telling everybody what to do. You've got lighting designs, you've got costume designs, you've got set, you've got all sorts of different people in a creative team. But the person that we all go through is the director, really, because there are so many different visions for this story. Like, there were so many different ways it can go. I might have my ideas of how it should sound, then the designer might have their idea of how it should look, and the lighting designer might have an idea of, and so on. Everyone might have their own ideas of how it should be, and it could be one almighty mess. So everything gets channeled through the director. So obviously, like, we're all free to have our own ideas, but it kind of goes through that central focus, which is the director. Then hopefully it will be a cohesive whole. So we'll talk to the director, but also I'll talk to all the other members of the creative team as well. I'll be very inspired by what a thing's going to look like. So the design is really important to me as well. What I use to make my music and sound is, it's different on every show. I'm a musician, so I'm what you call a multi-instrumentalist. So, you know, how some people are pianists or some people are violinists. I play a lot of different instruments, a bit. Some things I play more than others, but I play a lot of different things. But for a show like this, because the music's all going to be recorded, so I record it all on a computer. I use a program called Logic, which some of you might have heard. It's like a grown-up version of GarageBand, basically. So I record everything on the computer. I use some computer-generated sounds, some samples, some synthesized sounds, but I also use real sounds as well. My house is full of musical instruments. They're like double basses hiding in one corner, there's synthesizers under the bed, there's guitars in the wardrobe, accordions on the wall, stuff everywhere. While working on this one, I've still got a way to go, but already I've used things like an oud, which is an Arabic stringed instrument that I happen to have. I used like a flute as well at one point. Otherwise, most of the instruments, a bit of percussion as well, but most of the instruments are computer generated. And sound effects as well. Obviously I've got a big library of sound effects on my computer as well that I also use. And it's quite handy that I'm the composer and the sound designer, so everything is kind of cohesive rather than having a composer doing one thing and a sound designer doing something separate. It's all one because it's me. What advice would I give to someone wanting to become a composer? That's a big one. First thing, obviously, is write music. Just write music. That's what I do. Although, as I say, this wasn't what I intended to do, but I've always written music. I've just always done that. The more you do it, the better you get at it. So I would, if you're interested in writing music, particularly for theatre, I would say, yeah, just do it, write music. But also, listen to as many different kinds of music as possible. Because during the course of my career, I get asked to do so many different things. It's quite mind-boggling how many different kinds of music I get to do. Classical, music from around the world, dance music, rock music, like Irish music, literally everything. So having an open mind is quite important, and being as versatile as possible. Obviously, everyone's into their own kind of thing, but being versatile helps.